So if you saw by the thumbnail, this is basically why I decided to keep, my Rep QuickDraw Adjustable dumbbells. Got a couple of disclaimers. This, video is not to steer you in the direction of buying these dumbbells. Sometimes you'll see a thumbnail, look at this before you buy. This isn't that. I think we all have, different training styles, budget, space, and things like that we kind of factor in before we, pull the trigger on whatever the that ideal piece of equipment is or whatever's hot at the time. So this is more so why I purchased these, and then I, ultimately made the decision to purchase the Repins. And I also have some fixed dumbbells that range from 25 to 100, just missing some weight in between. Like some, I was definitely on board for the Repins, and it wasn't the pricing. Not to say that I'm a baller or anything like that, but I had already set aside the funds in my budget. It was just the time, that I would have to wait in order to receive those dumbbells. So, I wanted something in between. I'm a fan of adjustable dumbbells. I have the 552s over there, which, when I had purchased these, the plan was to just either give away or sell the 552s. But my girl likes those, so we kept those. I had the 552 stand, so I kept that for the quick draws, but I just have those tied to a plyo box, the 552s. I had the 1090s. Those were great as well. I got the 552s and the 1090s during COVID, so right time, right place. I'm not going to be one to bash Bowflex because they were an awesome dumbbell. I think they just had their time, but like I said, we still have a set here. And I gave the 1090s to my buddy, and he uses them. The thing about it is, man, some people might say, why don't you just sell them on Facebook Marketplace? And it's not like it's hit or miss. I'm just a little iffy when it comes to Facebook Marketplace. Like when you see something you like, there's no guarantee you're going to get it because ultimately, the people have to take the best deal. For me, it's just about my family. You never know who you're inviting over to your place. And then sometimes people will try to lowball you. Like you have a set price that you'll put in there and then you say, $100, I want this. And then somebody be like, I'll give you $7. It's like, man, stop. And they'll keep coming back. And it's just like, man, at that point, you just want to sell whatever it is to be done with it, get off of there so you can regroup just in case you got to post something else. So have the 552s, had the 1090s, have the Repins, the ones up to 125, and I have fixed dumbbells. These I bought in August 18th. And I was still on the fence about getting the Repins, but my training style is, if you haven't seen on previous videos, is I like to, do circuits. So the night before, like last night, came down, set up my shoulder circuit, and just have little stations that I go to, 6 to 8 exercises, movements, for that body part, limited breaks in between. And I just like to set things up. So when I had saw these, I said, yeah, I was ready to graduate from the Bowflex 552s. And I saw them and I bought them on Amazon. And the reason I bought them on Amazon is because I have a couple of credit cards, linked to my Amazon account. So I have reward points. It was just an easy buy. They came within 2 days, 3 days. I'm close to the Moreno Valley Rep showroom. So, if it would have been a little further out, I probably would have just drove down there and got them. But I've always been, hip on the idea of the adjustable because it's quick. Now, I've seen certain demos to where they got, people can change it in time and pick them up. I just compare it to when I was at a commercial gym, right? There's so many intangibles. You have the weight that you're using. How far is the bench away from the next set you want to go up? If somebody has that, if they don't have multiple sets of, this ranges from 5 to 60 if they don't have multiple sets there. And you got people that used to work out in front of the dumbbells. So by the time you get to your next weight, man, you would have been able to change it, real quick. I think my only gripe, and it's not really a gripe because I resolved it, is just when you buy these, I used this marker here to write in the numbers. Easy fix. Outside of that, it's just black. And I wear glasses all the time, except when I'm down here. So I would be squinting to see it. So I did one, and then when I started messing up the other one, I asked my girl, can she do the other one? And that solved the problem. Like I said, the stand, I have the Bowflex one, and I just got some tie downs from Amazon, and it's been working fine. And I just use them, for accessory work. I will say, being like when I use them for like buys and tries, they are a little longer. So when you're doing your curls, and if you're doing 60s, depending on when you swing the weight up, the alternate curl, it might hit your leg. But haven't really had that issue. Hammer curls, good to go. I usually start off warming up with shoulder press with the 60s, good to go. It's not like they're too long, they're gonna smack the side of my head or anything like that. And then when I'm doing like my shoulder, side lat raise and things like side raise and things like that, they're good. Usually I'll start with 30s and I go from there. It does have the adder plate, which is great. You can just take the adder plate, you just lift it up, and you put in the little stand right there, and you just drop it back in, lock it when you're ready to go. So, there is that. Like I said, this isn't to try to, get you to purchase it or why you shouldn't. It's just if you were like me, you were on the fence, maybe you needed something for accessory work. This was a great purchase for me. For me, when I built my home gym, I wanted it to be, as convenient as possible. In my little space, everything that I was trying to do at the commercial gym, I wanted to mimic here, and these contribute to that. So once I had received my Repins, I was just using them for like 2 weeks, and then I realized, man, I went back to these. Great quality, they're durable. I've never been one to really drop weight like that. So dropping them off a roof and things like that, it's just something I've never done. So I can't speak to that. I ain't about to drop test something I spend, hundreds of dollars for, or even when you get the Repins and I mess up, that's gonna throw me out of the game. So, but if you are on the fence, maybe you're not into, the Repins. The reason that I got the Repins is because I have heavier days sometimes to where I want to do some heavier chests or shrugs or things like that, so I can go up over 100. Now my fixed dumbbells, like I say, in between weight 25 and I have the hundreds. I'm still on the fence. I'm thinking about selling those. It's just like I mentioned before, who's coming here to get them and if it's going to be serious and things like that. But this is some real estate that I can use. Plus, it's just the aesthetics. It always looked cool to have some dumbbells there. But yeah, I'm going to be keeping my QuickDraw, dumbbells, more so for accessory work. They're very durable. I like the quick weight that you can use. And then like today, my shoulder circuit, I have those movements, but I'm just going to use the Repins for some heavy shrugs, and I'll use, the quick draws for the side and front raises and be good to go. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I think I touched on everything. Like I said, the only issue would probably be that they are kind of long, but it just depends on what you're doing with them at that point. And it's just when you get them, they come, these are black, so I used the pen to write it in. They did come in the rep, they were packaged nicely. If you get the 60s, it'll still come with like these spacers that's in there. You just pull those out, you put the plates in there, you're good to go. It's all about where you decide to put them at that time. I think I'm just gonna stick with this stand. It hasn't been an issue. I'm not, there's no reason to spend a couple of $100 more for another stand when this one's good. But like I said, if you have any questions about the rep quick draws, feel free to ask. This is why I'm deciding to keep mine. I'm a fan of rep, man. Like I haven't had any issues. Once the Repins came out, They're supposed to get delivered right before I went on a family trip. I said in a previous video, and they allowed me to come down there and pick them up. If I did have any shipping issues, it probably was just something that happened at FedEx. But every time I email somebody, I received information back. I'm not one to take my bad experience and say, well, that's the standard. No, it probably was just my bad experience. Stuff happens. So if you are on the fence about the Repin QuickDraw, I think it would be a good purchase, depending on your training style, what you have going on, and if you're not, hey, look elsewhere. There's other options out there. There's dumbbells, True Laps, with Iron Master. There's fixed dumbbells. You can get I've seen places where you can get the 5 to 55s kind of cheap, and with the stand. It just depends on pretty much what you're into. So there's that. So hit your boy up if you have any questions.